welcome to episode 1 of TinkerCat Garage and the Project Barnfind Oleg Cassini 1975 Matador Revival. I'm Sabrina, and welcome to the show. This was listed on Barnfind's website that we did not know when we bought it. Here's some pictures of what it looked like from the website and from the day we bought it, and I've been working to get it revived and running ever since, despite the fact that everybody said it was too far gone. Apologies for the video quality. This is my first video of this type, and I'm working with some crappy gear. It'll get better, I promise.
Alright, folks, here it is. The Oleg Cassini Matador. Loaded up, ready to come home with us.
There's going to be a lot of voiceover in this because a lot of the original footage I shot had really awful audio. The first thing I did was pull the plugs and wires. Thankfully, none of them got stuck and they all came out easy. And then I shot WD-40 in all the cylinders to free them up.
Get on this without breaking it. Oh yeah, there we go. Came out pretty easy. First plug out. Doesn't actually look too bad. Doesn't seem to be oil fouled or anything. And alright, so I've got 3 spark plugs out so far from the left bank, and I'm since I don't have a funnel at the moment that can get down into the spark plug holes, I'm shooting up a little spray juice with a tiny tube in there, figuring at least it's something for lubrication, kind of hopefully getting the rings not to stick. So I'm sure there's probably other things I could be doing or better options, but this is what I've got. This is my first time doing a revival like this, and I'm doing the best I can. And I figure this has got to be better than at least trying to crank it over dry. So I sprayed 1 and 3. Let's give them a little more juice. Just keep it wet until I get back here. So I do know there is some movement when I crank on the crank, it will move. So it's not completely frozen. I suspect if I pull all the plugs and move down the tops, it should spin over pretty easy. Because the plugs all look pretty decent. I suspect, from what we can tell, the ignition key cylinder on this was completely borked. And I think and I hope that the reason they parked this is just because they didn't want to try and fix the ignition key switch. And if that is, we may be really, really lucky with this actually not being mechanically foobar. Also, I did manage to get the carbon stuck, which makes me happy because I may actually be able to do something with this rather than having to buy a cheap knockoff from eBay. But here's hoping. I still plan to pull that fuel filter and fuel line and try and pump out the tank. I just got a remote trigger start and click-clack fuel pump delivered today. So I'm hoping to be able to try and at least spin this over soon. At least that's what I'd like.
And this is a quick update on Project Oleg, the 1975 Oleg Cassini Matador, one of 1800 project that I've been working on as a restoration. Unfortunately, I didn't bring any of my good camera gear out here because I didn't anticipate making this much progress. But here's a quick little update on all the progress that's been made and all the stuff that I've done today. Number one, we took the hood off to make it easier to actually work on the top end of the motor. I managed to shop vac all the top side of everything and get it completely cleaned off so that it was easier to work with. I managed to get all 8 spark plugs out and the top end of the cylinders all lubed. I pulled the carburetor off and shop vac'd down the intake manifold to make sure there was no rat nest crap that got inside. Pulled the cap off to get the nasty plug wires out of the way. Put new battery cables on and a new ground strap. Got the electrics working. And got a Lone Wolf 9000 trigger so that I could try and get this thing to roll over and see if it was going to stick or not. And some other odds and ends. So one of the other things I had to do with Project Oleg was the steering column, the ignition switch, and the ignition lock had totally been destroyed in this. And we had to basically do destructive maintenance on it just to be able to free up the steering and the transmission shift levers so that we could basically roll it and get it up on a trailer to tow it home. So I've been dropping the steering column to try and figure out if it was salvageable or if I have to pull it out. But now that I've got a battery in and I have access to the ignition switch with the column pulled down, I noticed we have signs of life. So keep in mind, this car hasn't been on the road in over 30 years, and we've got power. Check this out. the windshield wipers work, and after 30 years, the windshield washers still work. I'm impressed. And even more so, the vintage radio 8-track actually still works. But I'm gonna turn that off just because copyright. But the radio actually still works. And best of all, after putting on a new starter solenoid and doing some percussive maintenance on the starter, let's see if it'll do it from inside. Oh, it probably won't because I've got the wiring unhooked. So I'll go outside and show you that. But yeah, Project Oleg is slowly coming back to life. Now, mind you, I've got all the plugs out, so there's no compression, but that is rolling over nice. I'm not hearing any clunks, I'm not hearing any valve train noise or anything, and it actually sounds like it's rolling over pretty nice. I think I'm gonna be able to get this thing to fire up easy.
Day 2.
Okay, so I picked up some cheap copper core spark plugs from O'Reilly's auto parts place, and now I'm gonna try and put some new spark plugs in this thing, and hopefully we'll see if we can get it fired up today. But yeah, let's see if we can get plugs in it. Spark plug into the hole. That's 2 down. I hate that this AMC has really weird angled spark plug holes and has big honking crap in the way, like the big honking vacuum brake booster and this AC fan, heater fan unit is just right in the freaking way. But what are you gonna do? Thankfully, I've actually got a nice covered garage to work in that has some heat, and I'm not out freezing my butt in cold, wet Oregon. Alright, so I've got the cap on, all the plug wires on, and I'm going to see with an inline spark checker to try and see if I've got any sort of spark at all. So let's spin it over and see if we get anything. Nothing. Okay. This does not surprise me because the cap looks nasty as all get out, and I should have bought a cap. But that's on me. Of course, I don't even know if this ignition box is any good. But it definitely sounds like it's got compression when it cranks over. So that's a good thing. Alright, now that I've got everything confirmed, hooked up correctly, as far as best I can tell with the firing order and the coil wire and everything else, we're going to try and see with this inline spark checker if I've got any spark and if it'll crank. So here we go. Let's see if we get any spark. Holy crap. I've actually got spark. This thing actually has spark. This thing might actually fire up. All right, let's give it a try. So here we go. I hear something clicking, so I don't know what that is, but we've got spark. So I put some gas in the bowl, and let's see what happens. Yep. Come on, baby. Fire up. Come on. Oh, this battery is weak. Weaker than weak. All right. Here we go. I'm going to see if this has enough battery charge in it now to try and fire up. This thing hasn't run in over 30 years. And so if this fires at all, I'm going to be super thrilled. It's got plenty of compression from what I can tell, because it's having a hard time cranking over with all the plugs in. So who knows? Let's see what we get. Are you shitting me? Holy shit, are you kidding me? It fired off. Oh, it fired off. Holy shit. This battery though. Let's try it again, see if it'll crank over and fire. Come on, baby, you want it, you want it. I can hear you trying. I can hear you trying. Come on, I know you want it. I know you want it. Come on. Come on, one more time, one more time. Nope. That poor starter. Oh yeah, there we go. Holy shit. Yeah, baby. Oh, check it out! Whoa. Okay, she was trying to move. I thought I had it in park. Holy shit. It was trying to roll forward. There you go. First start in 30 years. Over 30 years. Okay, there you have it. 1975 Oleg Cassini Matador, one of about 1,800 built. That was the first start in over 30 years.
That's going to wrap it up for this first episode of the Project Barnfind Matador Revival. For all the people that said that this thing was too far gone and probably would never run again, there you have it. Proof of life. This thing will go. Started, ran, idled. Yeah, it needs a lot of parts. I've done more work on it since then. I do intend on getting this thing back on the road and driving. There will be more videos to come, so please stick around. Thanks again. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you want to see more of content like this. And until next time, go find yourself a car to work on and get in the garage. And if I can do it, you can do it. We'll see you again soon.